Hello, welcome back to. Oh God, you see that gray hair? Gross. Turn into Doc Brown. Welcome back to Trailer Trash. Today is Killers, plural, of the Flower Moon. Let's check it out.
You know, you got nice color skin. What color would you say that is?
My color.
My isn't a color. Wait a second. Go into looking at Crayola box and you'll find the my color. I shouldn't share this anecdote, but it kind of reminded me of I was bored one day and I was looking through a box of crayons that someone had. And I was looking because Crayola, they name their colors, right? And so I was looking to see, this is red orange. You go to the next one. Oh, this is orange red. I don't know what the difference is, but there they are. Then I pick up a yellow one. I didn't realize they weren't all Crayola because not all crayon brands name their colors. But I'm looking at the thing to find the name of the color, and all I see is made in China. And just for the splittest fucking second, I was like, what? That's, and then I was like, oh, that's not the name of the color. It was like, it had to be a yellow one. I may have been tired at the time. That's why I was bored and looking at crayon colors. But yeah, that's my Crayola story.
The Osage. They have the worst land possible. But they outsmarted everybody. The land had oil on it. Black gold. Money flows freely here now.
I do love that money, sir.
Okay, so this movie, from what I'm getting, is about native land that strikes gold. It strikes gold. That strikes oil. And so it's their land, and so they get rich. Okay, that's interesting. And it's based on a true American story, you say. I mean, we all know how I feel about those, right? Yes, true story, as in the fact that, yes, there were natives who struck oil. Everything else, it's iffy.
This wealth should come to us.
I also got to point out that it's weird to see De Niro in a Western. De Niro and DiCaprio working on the Western together. In fact, DiCaprio, it's kind of weird too, because all I can think of is, The Revenant. I was just thinking Django Unchained, but also is in The Revenant, lest we forget. That's a Oscar bait. Oscar bait is a term for a reason. Was he in The Quick and the Dead? Was that Leo? Hold on. Oh shit, yeah, it was him. That's crazy. And did you guys know that The Quick and the Dead was a Sam Raimi film? I had no idea. Also, how does he keep showing up in these?
Their time is over. It's just going to be another tragedy.
When this money started coming, we should have known it came with something else. They're like buzzards circling our people. We're still warriors.
I like that rhythm. Sorry, I had to stop it. It reminds me of Deadwood. It seems very Deadwood, like it's more like interpersonal, like struggles kind of Western. It's not so much, high fantasy Western, I'm going to call it for some reason. It's not all duels and train robberies and that kind of shit. Red Dead Redemption style. It's more kind of the people's lives in a town, and that's I kind of like that. I'm a huge fan of Westerns, just in theme. Thematically, I think Westerns are really awesome. And so it's interesting where there's sort of like, again, that like The Quick and the Dead, where it's it's Hollywood Western, but with things like Deadwood, and it looks like with this, it's more personal. It's not so much the fact that it's in the West; it's the people who live there, kind of thing. And that's I don't know. That's neat. I don't know if any of that made sense.
I ought to kill these white men who killed my family. I need you here.
I am right here.
You've got to take.
It's a Scorsese film. That's why Robert De Niro's in here. Scorsese's doing a Western? That's weird. That's and why this story? It's so bizarre, huh?
Take back control of your home.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
See, what about him?
See who's doing it.
This probably isn't the right era, but he's a Pinkerton. You can't trust Pinkertons if Westerns taught me anything. Some real assholes, these Pinkertons. Or he did say he was sent from D.C., so maybe he is really just the government. What you can't just hold on. That's my boy. It's Brendan Fraser. You can't just hide him from me. Just out of fucking nowhere, here's Brendan Fraser, like near the end of the trailer. How has this movie flown under the radar for me anyway? Like, I didn't even know this was a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I saw the title, saw it was a Western, and put it in my folder for trailers. I didn't. It was Scorsese, De Niro, friggin' Brendan Fraser. Like, what? How did I not hear about this before? Whoa, that was wait. Am I reading that right? They're mourning this lady's death. I mean, they're in black, but maybe she's not dead. Like, it makes it. I mean, it's obviously just a trailer, like an editing choice, but it makes it look like there's some supernatural stuff going on, which would also be interesting. But again, based on a true story.
Expecting a miracle to make all this go away.
And so just from looking at this, let me guess, is this... this is the better way to do trailers where you don't just outright spoil things and it's more speculation. But I'm getting the feeling that Leo's wife or girlfriend, the native lady, she's a goner, isn't she? It's going to be sort of like this mixing of cultures, and they could never get along, and you got these two star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet reference, who are doomed to fail their relationship, and so this strife like separates them, kind of thing. Like, I'm getting that.
Away. You know they don't happen anymore.
I couldn't have. Fuck off. Jesus. I couldn't have said it better myself. At BK, have it your way. So at the end there, it's probably trying to move on to the next trailer, which for some reason has ads.
You know they don't.
Someone's getting a copyright claim. But they're naming all these Academy Award winners. I'm sorry. Did Brendan Fraser not just win an award? Or was it some sort of like SAG award or some bullshit that apparently doesn't matter? But it's just funny where it's like Martin Scorsese, Leo DiCaprio, awards nominated for various bullshit. Brendan Fraser was right there. Wasn't that the point of The Whale? Again, speaking of Oscar bait. Also, if he didn't win an award for The Whale, he better have won one for fucking the Mummy series. Those are, like, unironically, at least the first one, unironically, really good movie. I'd recommend it. Yeah, anyway. Oh, and let's check out the comments. Oh, wait. The comments are turned off. Why are the comments turned off? That's just really weird to me. What channel is this? Apple TV? Is this what we're doing now? We're not turning on comments for a trailer? That's the whole point of the comments section, is to get our thoughts and opinions out, to sort of get a sense of what people feel about these things, you know? Like what the general consensus is. But not on Apple TV. I guess I'll read you the description because it's a big fucking thing. At the turn of the 20th century, oil brought a fortune to the Osage, I apologize, I don't know, who became some of the richest people in the world overnight. The wealth of these Native Americans immediately attracted white interlopers. White interlopers. Who manipulated, extorted, and stole as much money as they could before resorting to murder. Based on a true story and told through the improbable romance of Ernest Burkhart and Molly Kyle. Epic Western crime saga where real love crosses paths with unspeakable betrayal. Also starring Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, John Lithgow, Tantu Cardinal, Cara Jade Myers, Janae Collins, and Gillian Dion. Killers of the Flower Moon is directed by Academy Award Martin Scorsese, creator Eric Roth Scorsese, based on David Grand's best-selling book. Yeah, again, based on a true story. I know I harp on this kind of thing, and it's not directed specifically to this movie. But, and I kind of touched this on the Gran Turismo trailer, but one of my problems since I just saw Oppenheimer is that the way Hollywood works, the way movies work nowadays, they're very formulaic. You know, you got to make them with certain elements. And so things like an antagonist, you know, something that's being fought against is something that has to be in movies. But sometimes in these true stories, those don't exist naturally. And so a lot of the times you'll see they'll make them up. You know, a good example, not necessarily of this, but Patch Adams, based on a true story. But if you look into the history of it, they just changed, you know, anything that didn't work for Hollywood for the sake of a movie, like along with completely erasing people who existed in real life from the movie. You know, and it's like it bugs me that they do stuff like that. But also this idea again with Oppenheimer, where it's like, you know, you have to have a villain, you have to have a bad guy. And in the movie Oppenheimer, you got Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and also you have, I think it was played by Gary Oldman with a lot of makeup. Maybe it wasn't Gary Oldman, but played President Truman. And both of them in the movie are just these like mustache twirling bad guys who come off as total assholes. And it's like, yeah, for the sake of the movie, for the sake of making Oppenheimer the sympathetic character, you had to make, you had to give him opposition. You had to make villains. When in reality, just, you know, in any sense of reality, that's not how it works. You know, these people, you could have very well, you can make a documentary about Truman through World War II and paint it where he's the sympathetic character and these other people are assholes, you know? And so it's very like in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. Whoever makes these movies gets to decide, like, okay, these are the bad people. These were the good people. You know, the bad people may have had their reasons for doing what they did and would have just as much of an interesting take on the story. But no, this is the focus. This is the viewpoint, you know, kind of thing. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what's going on with this, but that's one of the things, thinking about it, that's one of the things that bugs me a lot about based on a true story. And the trope is everywhere. It was on The Simpsons, it was on Family Guy, where it was like they'll take something that actually happened, they'll make it as a movie for TV, but then you know, like they'll twist it and make Peter and Homer respectively the bad guys of the story, even though they didn't do anything wrong. It's that kind of thing. I feel like the reason that that's a trope is because it really happens. And again, with Patch Adams, like completely took actual human beings out of the equation of the movie for the sake of making it a you know, digestible movie, I guess. I don't know why I'm using that kind of terminology. And, you know, I also hear rumblings of things like Captain Phillips, as Captain Phillips. You know, you hear things where it's like, well, actually, the dude was kind of an asshole for putting his crew in danger, you know, but they don't paint him as the bad guy in that movie. He's the hero when, you know, the whole situation easily could have been avoided, that sort of thing. I don't know how true that is. It's, you know, I make these claims, but at the same time, it's not like I've done any research on these people, at least with the case of Captain Phillips and, you know, Oppenheimer. I don't even know who Robert Downey Jr.'s character was. His fucking Strauss or something. I don't know who that guy was. I don't know who he was in real life, but I sure as hell am not going to watch a movie and assume he was an asshole in real life because that's what the movie made him look like, you know? So that's that's my beef with based on true story movies. This movie looks interesting. The trailer, I like the music. The music's really cool. I like that idea, like adding a beat. It's just kind of like that hard modern beat to a chant is really cool. And it also fits really well with the concept, you know, this strife with people and their money. It's interesting to me too that it's like these Native Americans, they strike oil and they're rich from it. And so immediately, what's the word again? White interlopers show up and are immediately like, I'd believe it. Like, sure, yeah, that's a thing. I don't know if them being white had anything to do with it. That was just the way some people are. But white interloper. That's what I'm going to put on my gravestone. But yeah, it looks really interesting. It's a crazy story that it's apparently based on. I never knew this was a thing. I didn't know this movie was going to be a thing. But again, it is an October release. So it's possible that maybe I should start looking for more September releases. Maybe I'm jumping too far ahead here. In fact, I think I have some that are coming out in December. So maybe I should bring it down a bit. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this weird experiment of mine. And it's just a shame that Apple TV won't let us state our opinions to the masses. A damn shame. Anyway, thanks for watching.